You're such an asshole.
Are you losing weight? Yes I am. Hey Cappy. First off, I request anonymity. All right. I'm a 42-year-old guy who lives in northern Colorado. Say hello to the great one. I have done rather well in life. I've paid my mortgage and I own part of a successful business. I really get a kick out of your videos and books. Good, thank you. I ask that you make a video explaining on a little bit of wisdom that my uncle once gave me. He told me, anonymous. This is like the great one, except we're going to call this guy anonymous. Anonymous. There's only one thing that gets bigger when you put it in someone else's hands, and it's not your money. It's your cock. A few months ago, a douche cunt that I know sent out a generic mass email giving me the opportunity to invest in a business. I thought to myself, what? They couldn't get a loan from a bank? They must be so toxic even Wells Fargo and Chase won't touch them. Forget Wells Fargo and Chase. If you read my book, Behind the Housing Crash, I explain there's a hierarchy of banks or financing firms on who usually gets first dibs, first draft pick, second draft pick, and then it goes down. Wells Fargo and Chase are not the bottom feeders. The bottom feeders are your regional, then it goes community banks, then it goes your credit unions. Some of them do have commercial lending divisions and investment divisions. And Wells Fargo and Chase actually have the capital. They can fund some low risk, relatively decent returning investments. There are actually some legitimate investments those banks do fund and finance. But you think they're the worst? Oh no, dude, you don't have my banking career. Oh my God, the shit show. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. The banks I worked at were no different than a payday lender, except that payday lenders were smart enough to charge 30-40% interest or get the paycheck and hold it as collateral. My banks were even dumber than that. I mean, you could go way worse than Chase and Wells Fargo. But yeah, these banks would eat the crumbs that fell off of Wells Fargo's table. Are they leveraged to the hilt? What's the story? I kept wondering why they would hit me up for dough. I know these people and they aspire zero confidence and now they need my money. I didn't give either of them my money or my cock, but I remember my uncle's wisdom, which I'm now sharing with you. I asked that you add to it and make a video. P.S. if you're ever in northern Colorado, I recommend Soapstone Prairie and Red Mountain open spaces. They are north of Fort Collins by an hour, right on the border of your favorite state ever, Wyoming, of course. If you go on a summer weekday, chances are you can have a pretty good lunch to yourself. Watch out for rattlesnakes. I man the rattlesnakes. Rattlesnakes and tornadoes are afraid of me. They go the other direction. Every time I try to hunt both, they go the other direction. I've never seen a tornado. I have seen a couple rattlesnakes, very briefly. All right, so aside from my commentary on the hierarchy of finance firms and how the top ones get the best ideas and the best business ideas and get to finance them, what you have in this case, when it's a liken to neither a borrower nor a lender be, but when you got friends who are like, I'm going to start a business, just realize right off the bat when someone says they're going to start a business, there's a 95% chance of them failing. Because 95% of the businesses go under. If their business idea is so bad and so poorly thought out, or they are such bad business people and they lack such financial acumen to think, I'm going to ask my friends to invest with me instead of go to a bank, here's a business plan, run for the hills. I know in the United States we like to celebrate the small business owner, but most small business owners are fucking retarded and dumber than fuck and should never have been given money in the first. Oh, the SBA, oh my God. It's just like lending money to dumb millennial kids to go major in the liberal arts. It's like, oh, you're going to start a business? Oh, okay, it's the money. Oh, darn, you didn't pay it back. Taxpayer will be out. Most people who go into entrepreneurship do so not because they have a great idea or a viable business or a good way to make a profit. They go there because they're lazy. What's lazy? L. It explains everything in the world. Lazy. And they think it'll be fun. Great TV shows is Bar Rescue and then Dave Ramsey's one where he turns around the restaurants, Restaurant Impossible. where every dipshit that wants to run a bar or a restaurant, they do it because they thought it would be fun. Well, I could run a bar. I could do it. They think it's going to be fun, and what they're not only is it fun, but they also want to avoid real work. Well, that person does that person does this person does that, and I just collect the money. If that's the case, you're an investor. Then you should invest in stocks that pay a high dividend. You should not be a CEO or the president and CEO. Oh, I run a business. I'm the proprietor. No, you shouldn't, because you're not going to work. These people don't want to put in the effort. Entrepreneurs, real ones, work about 60 to 80 hours a week, at least up front. Down the road, you can scale back a little bit or sell your product to a larger corporation. But that's your top 5%. Again, 95% of the people out there who claim to be entrepreneurs are wantrapreneurs, to quote Mark Cuban. And they do so because they're lazy and they think it's going to be easier than running a real job. Since they are lazy, they don't do the groundwork. They don't do correct licensure. They don't file if the state collects sales income tax. They don't pay their estimated tax. They're always filing tax returns late and into extensions. Sometimes they don't file at all. The number one way to tell if someone is not a legitimate entrepreneur is they lack any accounting system. Or they say, well, I just leave that to the accountant. Yeah, and that's most people. Most people are lazy. So when you see someone approaching you saying, hey, can you give me your hard-earned money and I'm going to start a business, you run, man. You just run. Because not only is the business idea unviable, these guys are not much better than thieves. Not much better than thieves. The problem is they're so stupid they actually think it's just a matter of setting up a business. And we start a band, man. A band is a very complicated and risky business venture. It could be a fun hobby, but if you want to take it as a money-making operation, that takes a lot of work and a lot of luck. And a lot of skill, and a lot of talent, and a lot of practice. Most people, whether it's a band, a bar, a restaurant, or any other kind of roofing company, most people will fail because the majority of reason, the number one reason the majority of people go into entrepreneurship because they don't want to work hard. They think it's easier. They think it's an easy way out. I'm going to open up a salon. Sure you are, sugar tits. I'm sure you are. So, yeah, and I saw him. Oh, God. Forgot about this guy. We want to have a business plan. This guy wanted to start his own trucking company. He said, put in a business plan. He wrote, almost like he just held it like this. I want $120,000 for a truck. And that was his, and we lent it to him. This is a credit union. All right? We lent it to him. And guess what? He didn't pay us back. Who knew? Aaron Cleary did, but fuck that guy. We're here to help the little people. This guy was a fat sow, and so was his wife. They were not little people. Yeah, I'm not joking. I'd rather lend money to a drug dealer because a drug dealer has to have his or her shit together, and they usually deal in something that's profitable. They're a better credit risk than Dopey McSchmo boy coming up, I'm going to start a business. I would. I'd lend on prostitution. I'd lend on drugs. I'd lend on legal and illegal over-the-counter. And I'd lend on any vice, any illegal. And you said, Aaron, lend money to your average borrower at a small community bank or a credit union on their commercial loan portfolio, or lend to a drug dealer. I'll lend to the drug dealer because at least they got street smarts and some natural business acumen and capitalism to them. They know how to hustle. All right, prostitutes, they know how to get money. Fucking Sam Malone wannabe, loser. Big fucking loser. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.